right now, and it says we are live. So if you are watching the replay, this is just simply a 15-second little delay, as we understand when we hit live on our end. Not everybody sees us straight up from the beginning. So with that, we will say welcome into the CarrGuy and SixFan show, everybody. It is season 3. Welcome in. Thanks for being a part of this show. We've got, I think, a really good episode lined up for you. But if this is your first time, of course, I'm your host, Grant Tommy, straight SixFan. That would be the SixFan part of the operation of CarrGuy and SixFan show. So down below me, we have...
My name is Jason, and I am the CarrGuy of the CarrGuy and SixFan show, and I'm just playing things a little bit safe here tonight because, you know, Grant has a little thing going on over there up top. So welcome to the show, guys. Now's the time where you can go and click on that like button down below. Share it out with your friends on your social media. Make sure everybody knows that the CarrGuy and SixFan show is live right now.
And so, guys, we do intend to have a fun time tonight and try to add some enjoyment back to your life. I did want to take a little bit of a second before we start talking about everybody who is jumping in the live stream right now. We will get to you guys in a second. I did kind of want to take a little bit of a pause or a little bit of a second. First off, yes, we do think we have a really good show for you, but, you know, we were actually supposed to have a guest tonight, and as you might understand, just like with what all of us are going through right now, I mean, all of our lives are being impacted right now. And so our guest, you know, with his family life, kids and all that stuff, his life's a little bit upside down. So kind of asked if we could, you know, if he could kind of step out. And so we were totally fine with that. That's why we're doing a legacy episode. But just kind of want to take a serious moment and kind of acknowledge, you know, what we're all going through right now. And I wanted to say, you know, I'm fortunate enough with my job that I can remote in, as we're all self-quarantined, or should be at least, to still do my job. But I understand there's other people out there, restaurant workers, things like that, that may be out of work right now and don't know where their next paycheck's coming from. So we totally just wanted to take a moment and say that, you know, and like my wife and my mom work in the health profession, and they're carrying new stressors now. The worst part about that for them is there's just no end date in sight. So you don't know how long this is going to last. So I just wanted to say we totally understand that everybody's handling this a little bit differently. We hope we can give you at least 35 minutes of an escape, some enjoyment, some entertainment. And with that, I think, you know, all seriousness aside now, I want to get back to smiling and cracking jokes and all that stuff. But I just think it was worth mentioning. So welcome, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's like Grant said, it's something that we're all going through. It's something that's new to all of us. This is something that the word unprecedented keeps being thrown around by the media, but it truly is. And like Grant said, again, we're just here to help kind of get away from that for a little while. And while we get ready to start this episode of the CarrGuy and SixFan show, I just want to run through the roll call here to make sure that everybody gets a little bit of acknowledgement who has joined us. And Kathy Durbin was the first one in here with her likes and her thumbs up, as well as Kip from America to Bumper. Darren's Gray Goat is here. I've made it in here somewhere. I don't find me, but I'm there. Also, we've got Eford Garage, Arch Cricket in Canada. We call him Arch Cricket. As well as Corey Pratt has made it. Novotaz, welcome, Sean. The 88 Katana 600, welcome. Thanks for jumping in. Super Dave, Stupid Fast Truck. Did I say Super Dave? Trucker Dave, Stupid Fast Truck. And I think we've got everybody. Mustang Guy, welcome to the show. You're not going to want to miss this because it's all about Mustangs tonight.
And yeah, and it looks like some unfortunate news. Sorry to hear about that, Corey. That's we'll see if we can't come up with some creative solutions for you. Sorry to hear that, man. Stupid Fast Truck. I totally agree with what you're saying there too. But so with that, why don't we all just get into this? I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, you know, with the current situation we're all under, March Madness, the real March Madness, got canceled. So I thought, hey, why not do Mustang March Madness? And so I'll take from the crowd. You guys, we can start anywhere on the 16-team bracket. Is there a particular matchup you like? You know, when you were watching basketball, did you like those 7-10 matchups? You know, the sneaky 5, was it the 5-12? There always seems to be a 12 that upsets a 5 in March. I'll take any matchup you want to leave in the comments, and we'll start that with the opening round. But I will tell you that whichever side of the bracket we start on, we will stay on that side of the bracket till we're done. So if anybody in the chat wants to throw out a matchup, we will start with that.
And while we're waiting for someone to jump into the chat and give us a starting bracket, we're talking March Madness. We're talking about you know, all sports of any kind on TV has been kind of shut down for the little while, and we like to classify ourselves as the gold standard in automotive talk show here on YouTube. So again, I encourage you, hit that share button, share it out on your social media, and let's make the CarrGuy and SixFan just the best darn show that anyone ever wanted to watch on a Thursday evening, okay?
Absolutely. And so I still haven't seen anybody chime in the chat. So I guess with that, I guess we'll just start with the, well, okay, Eford said the 1 in 16. As you can see, the number 1 seed is a 1970 Mach 1, and of course, I could only come up with 15 different just sort of generations of Mustangs, so it is up against Buy, and so with that, we will go ahead and advance the 1970 Mach 1.
And right after he jumped in there, we also
Boss
had
302 actually.
We had Papa C2000 wanted to see the Fox body versus the 197, so we might as well kind of jump down to the next bracket. And I guess what we're planning on doing here, guys, is let you be the deciders on how far each vehicle or each Mustang moves forward in the bracket. So as of right now, we've got the 70 Mach 1 moving forward, and we're onto the bracket with the Fox body and the S197. Which in the chat do you guys wish to see move forward out of those two models of Mustang? And so far, we do have a 197 by Novotaz to move forward. So go ahead and throw your answers into the chat.
And just to be more specific, so this is the first model year out. This is a Bullet Mustang out of the 05 to 10 range, and then it's the Aero version of the Fox body. We do have the 4-eyed Fox later.
So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Fox bodies. So people are still voting the 70 on the second bracket. We're not voting the 70, guys. We are voting the Fox body, which is bracket number 8, I think, if I can see that from here.
Yes, it's the 8-9 matchup.
8-9 matchup. So we're Fox body and S197. So it's the red and the green one. The third and fourth one's down. So I guess the Fox body is really starting to roll in here now. So we've got several votes for Fox body, looking like the Fox body is going to move forward for this elimination.
All right, so with that, we will advance the Aero Fox body. The 8 seed wins in round 1. So well, I guess we'll just go straight down the bracket. So we have the first, or no, it's the brand new, the second half of the S550 generation versus the 1971 to 73 car. I think I probably know what's going to happen here, but this is your 4-13 matchup. So 4 seed is 2018 to 2020.
Yeah, so we're doing the 4-13 matchup. So guys, in your chat, just go ahead and type, there you go. You guys got it already. S550 or the 71 to 73, and we're getting lots of 71 to 73 in this bracket. So we'll give it a few minutes for everyone to vote on which one they think. We're looking at the orange and blue car, the number 4 and the number 13. So tell me which one you guys think is the better of the two. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 9 for the 71 to 73, and we've got 3 for the S550. So it's looking like, as of right now, the 71 to 73 is going to move forward.
We may have our first upset. So this is actually very surprising to me. So
Yeah, me too, because again, you guys all know that I'm not huge on Mustang. I do have my favorite Mustang, which I predicted to Grant would go to the final. But as we look at it, the Mach 1 style Mustang, which we're kind of voting on here right now, in my opinion, is not one of my favorite. But according to you guys, you seem to like it, and we are going to call it as of right now. The 71 to 73 will move forward.
and if you guys are enjoying this, definitely take a moment and share it out on social media. If you the more people in here, the more competitive it gets, and I think the more fun it will be. But that takes us now down to the 5-12 matchup, which is the first half of the S550 generation, the 15 to 17, so like the EcoBoost we have in my garage, and then the SN95 1994 through 98 model. Go ahead and put in the comments which on a head-to-head battle would you rather have, rather build, rather whatever.
Yeah, and for those of you who aren't keen on the year models and or styles, let's make it real simple. We are on the left side of the screen. We're looking at the white Mustang and the green Mustang at the bottom, and we want you guys to vote on which one you think is the better styling out of the two. So the white Mustang being the S550, and the green one being the S197, if my terminology is correct.
S550 is the new one in SN95. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. Just
Hey,
go by
there
the
you
years.
go.
That's why we put the years down there.
White
O-
and green. There we go.
Only dorks. I mean, I think that's an engineering code, or I don't really know how that, but it looks like we're going to call it for the 5 seed, Jason, unless you see something else.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of the 2015 popping up there, and someone's actually using some proper terminology, and it's not me. So we're going to call the number 5 seed for this round, guys. We're going to move the white car over, and it looks like we've got our first half of the semis in place for this Mustang shootout.
And before we head over to the other side of the bracket, I'm going to turn it over to Jason here for a second. I'm going to try to simplify my life here a little bit.
Yeah, okay, no problem. So again, we're talking Mustangs here this week on the show, and I know that in the past we've done different things like uh, the Camaro and Firebird matchup. You guys really like that. And a couple of weeks ago, was it maybe last week, we did the generations, 50-year generations of trucks, and as we remember, the Dodge came out on top with 3 votes of generations over the 6 that we did. And we appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. We know that there's probably a lot more things that you could be doing, like spending times with your family, being quarantined or self-isolated or whatever you want to call it. But we're glad that you chose to jump in here with us tonight.
And so with that, we will move to the other side of the bracket, go through round 1. And Jason, I'll let you take us through the 215 matchup.
Okay. The 215 matchup, as we look at it, is looking at the 1969 Mustang versus the infamous, or yeah, we can call it infamous, I guess, 74 to 77 Mustang 2, which is one of my favorites, believe it or not, just simply because of its oddity. So if I'm not mistaken, did they not have a Cobra or a King Cobra version of that Mustang 2 of some sort?
They actually did, and actually there is a Cobra 2 is the one I picked, and for the most part, I tried not to pick cars that had any aftermarket custom anything, but for the Mustang 2, I made an exception because it needs all the help it could get. But yeah, that is a Cobra 2. But yeah, there was a King Cobra version as well that had
Yep.
like kind of a Trans Am styling, fender flares and chin spoiler and whatnot.
And you guys in the chat are really disappointing me. But 69 is going to grab it for this bracket. There's a lot of votes in there for 69, so I'll get Grant to move the 69 down into the semis, and we'll move on to the next bracket, which is your 7-10 matchup, which is the 2011 to 14 and the 99 to 04. So again, we'll jump right into it in the chat. If you guys like the 11 to 14 or the 99 to 04 better, go ahead and throw us your answers in the chat. And Grant, what do you think out of those two there? What's your favorite style?
Well, what was interesting when I started chopping them up, that how sometimes these matchups just wound up being a decade apart. So the 04 and the 14. So I thought that was kind of interesting. What made this really difficult as I seeded it was, you know, in its time, the well, no, never mind. That's too early. I'm going the 2011, 2014. I'm a sucker for the 3.7 liter Cyclone V6 that came in that year. The taillights are some of the best looking rear deck on those cars too, in my opinion.
And again, I'm not much for Mustangs on either one of these particular styles, but the 99 to 04 being a close relative of the Fox body kind of appeals to me. So that would have to be my guess. But as we go through the chat, we're looking at the 99 to 04 and 11 to 14, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I guess we're going to have to call this for the 99 to 04. Oh, we got one more vote there, 11 to 14, but that still doesn't give us enough votes. We're moving the 99 to 04 forward on this bracket. So you'll see the 69 and the 99 to 04 match up in the semis. So
that surprises me just a little bit. I mean, it's a 10 seed over a 7, so it is an upset, but they're equal opponents. They're pretty evenly matched, so very, very well done. So that takes us down to the I think I could probably already know where this one's going to go, but the 3 seed versus the Mach E is our 14 seed. So I really wanted the Mach E and the Mustang 2 to have a play-in game, but it didn't work out that way. So we're going Fastback Mustangs 66 to 68 as the 3 seed, and then Mach E as the 14.
Yeah, and again, this one here, we could probably see the biggest upset of the night here. I'm not thinking so, but all of a sudden I see 66 to 68 running through the chat very, very quickly. Again, I'm not surprised. Was kind of looking forward to that upset, but nevertheless, looks like we are moving the number 3 forward in this one. And like we said, no surprise. Is there at least one person, just for the sake of the game, who can throw the Mach E out there? Yes, King Eric the Great the First has put that out there. Thank you. At least we got the one vote. And E for Garage, he's put that out. Trucker Dave has also put that in there. But sorry, guys, not enough to move the Mach E forward. Looks like we're going with the 66 to 68 in this bracket.
So why did it not surprise me that Eric was the first to do that? But that then just leaves us with the 6-11 matchup, which is going to be the 11 seed at the bottom, your 4-eyed fox, as I like to call him, and the 6 would be your OG original gangster, 64.5 or 65. So who you got in the chat between the 6-11 matchup?
Well, I know who I've got. Again, as I've said, the Fox Body Mustang's probably my favorite style, but you kind of got to give credit where credit is due to the OG, the 64.5 and 65 Mustang. And looks like we're getting a lot of the same in the chat so far. We got a couple of Fox Bodies popping in there as well from Trucker Dave and Papa C2000. Where does your heart lie here, Grant, on this matchup?
So if I wanted to make a fine financial investment, you would have to do the 64 to 65. I mean, you're going to make more money that way. But so the 4-eyed fox, like my Fairmont, it kind of falls in the same category. And like over the years, this is much like your generation of square bodies, Jason, where I never really liked them, but then as I got older, all of a sudden I kind of like years now better than the stacked. I kind of definitely like four-eyed foxes better than the arrow coupes. So I would, if I had to build between those two, I would be building a four-eyed fox.
And it's a tight one on this particular round. We've got 12 votes for the 64 or 65, and it looks like we've only got about 8 for the Fox body of this particular matchup. So I guess we're going to call the voting on this one and move the OG forward. And King Eric the Great has given us the final vote for the Fox, or for the original, sorry. And that will complete this round of the March Madness in the semifinals. And we're going to move on here in just a few minutes with the quarterfinals. And before we jump into that, though, maybe this is probably a pretty good time, Grant, just to kind of insert into our regular agenda some of the things that might be upcoming on each of our channels. Why don't you share a little bit with the guys and gal, I guess we got Kathy in there as well, what's going on in our channels here in the near future?
Well, actually, I will let you start because I'm kind of trying to house clean over here.
Okay.
So if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem at all. So if you guys are following me on Instagram, you'll know that today I received the engine block, crank, and heads back from the machine shop. I'm so excited. The only disappointment that I had with the whole thing was that when I got the original phone call, the shop told me that they were going to be going with a 30 over bore. Sorry, a 40 over bore, because it was already 30. And I was fine with that. I had no problem with that. But when I got it back, it was quite a bit different. And I'm going to share that in the next video. So you're going to have to tune in to my surprise when I got the new pistons and everything back. But my next video, which is going to go up on Tuesday, you guys will see the whole inventory of all the parts that I've got gathered up to put this new small block Chevy back together. How you making out over there, Grant?
Yeah, so quick update for me. I did get the final thumbs up to release the video of my campus visit to McPherson College. And so just kind of sneak peek on that. There's the thumbnail for tomorrow. So kind of a little teaser.
Nice.
So you'll want to check that out. I've had a really good time. I mean, I want to give you the heads up. The metal working fab instructor is definitely, you don't want to miss this guy. This guy is the right guy for that job, and he's kind of kooky and kind of hilarious. So that's coming up. That should be dropping tomorrow morning. I did also want to just kind of give a shout out to printyourbrackets.com. I could have photoshopped your logo out of this, but I thought you made things handy for me. So leave it on and just give you a little shout out there as well. So with that, we will go into, I guess this would be quarterfinals. So where do you guys want to start? Left or right side of the screen? Let us know, and we will certainly do that. I will also add, Sunday night should be dropping my new channel trailer for Straight SixFan. Seem to do it one new one about every year. So the 2020 version will be dropping on Sunday.
Okay, so we've got some people in there saying they want to start on the left-hand side, so we will start with that. But before we do, I do want to acknowledge a few people who have jumped into the chat since we started doing this. We've got HomeGuy 4x4 is there, as well as Client Graphics has jumped in, as well as Dorito the Lucha Cabra, who I think has been in here once or twice before, but welcome, guys. Go-karts are gone fishing. Nate has joined us, and we scroll up. If I've missed you, JB Freeman is there as well. Beer Studs Toolbox footage. And we've got a few more guys, I think, that may have popped in there. Mostly Mopar IH. Mr. Mach 1, thanks for jumping in there. And if we missed you, go ahead and type your name in the chat so we can make sure that we acknowledge you. And Auto Addiction has just jumped in there as well. So let's get started with the quarterfinals. And we're going to start on the upper left, where we had the Mustang Mach 1 kind of as the buy-in for the first round versus the Fox body. This is going to be an exciting matchup because we've got two very iconic Mustangs up against each other. Grant?
And I was the first one to put the wrong information out there. It's actually a Boss 302 Mustang from 1970. No, that's okay. I misled the group out of the gate. Mr. Mach 1, who is in the chat probably knows his striping better than I, and probably knew that off the gate. But I mean, I'm going 1970 all the way.
Yeah, and the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 votes are coming out as the 70 boss, or sorry, Mach 1 or whatever we're calling it. And auto addiction, I'm with you with the Fox body, so we got 2 votes there. It's looking like the 70 is going to take this one all the way. We've got, what, 24 people in the chat, and we've already got, a dozen, 13, 14 votes for the 70. So it looks like the Mach 1 / Boss 302 / whatever the hell that car is moving forward into the final matchup here. So I think we can slide that one over and move on to the next one, which is a 71 to 73 Mustang versus a S550, the white one. So blue and white. You guys go ahead and cast your votes for this round 2 and the quarterfinals, and let us know if it's the 71 to 73 or the 2000 and what
15,
is it?
16, or 17.
Yeah, there you go. 15, 16, or 17.
So this one, I never did speak up the last time the 71 to 73 was going through. Even though it's ranked the 13 seed, this is definitely a style like I would totally build one of these. They get a little bit long. They're a little like the proportions get a little grotesque a little bit, but Chip Foose has done one. There's definitely ways you can massage them and thin them up. I really like that style, but I think if it's between these two, I would go S550.
And Craig Durbin has just sent us off a super chat for $20. Grant, that is going directly to you. So thanks, Craig, for help supporting Straight Six Fans channel here with a big $20 bill. So
that is amazing.
It is.
Thank you, Craig.
That's like $27 Canadian. So hey, woohoo!
And that's like $17 after YouTube takes their little bit, but still, every little bit helps. Thank you, Craig.
Yeah, and as we look back into the chat, again, for some strange reason, the 71 to 73 is taking the lead here in this round. Not really sure why. One of the ugliest Mustangs I think I've ever seen. Sorry, Mr. Mach 1. But he even voted for the 15 to 17 on this one. So come on.
Well, his is a 1970, I believe, but wow, yeah, I'm surprised we have a real Cinderella here. So that is the beauty of March Madness. That's exactly what makes it so fun and popular. And so with that, I guess we'll move to the other side of the bracket. And why don't we just start in the bottom? And then we have basically the 64 and 65 versus the 66 to 68. So who you got, chat? Jason?
Again, although I do like the 66 and 66 to 68 fastbacks, they're one of the better looking Mustangs out there before they switch to the ugly ones. But again, I think I'm going to have to go with the OG. I'm going with the 64.5 to 65 myself. And as we look into the chat, it seems as though the later model is taking the lead on this one.
Yeah, and I think it's that fastback, that B pillar is what makes it so much more aggressive looking than the original 64.5 version. So that's definitely what would get my vote. So do you think it's enough, Jason, to call the 3 seed moving on?
We are just taking a quick vote here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so it looks like the 66 to 68 is moving on in this particular round.
All right, we will move that guy on over.
And then
we'll scroll up.
Yep, we're going to scroll up. We're going to go to our last matchup of this round, and that is the 99 to 04 and the 1969. Again, something's telling me that we're going to have a couple of ugly cars in the final, which will disappoint me very, very much so. So go ahead and cast your votes now, guys. You want the blue one or the white one? We're going 99 to 04 or 1969. Where's your heart at on these ones, Grant?
between, I think, man, so 69 is where I'm at.
I'm going home.
What I don't understand what you don't like about a 1969 Mustang, but
I don't know. They were probably some of the biggest Mustangs out there. But I, I've I've driven, of course, being in the car business, I've driven a lot of the later model ones, but the earlier ones, um, those were the ones that I've driven the most. I had a friend that his mom and dad had one, and I think it was a 70 or 71. Um, and I can't judge all of them based on that one vehicle, but it was gutless. It was a rattle trap. I just the styling just certainly does not do it for me. And out of all the Mustangs, I would again, I did just my opinion. I might have to say they're probably one of the uglier styles that they've come out with. Anyways, let's get off that topic real quick and we jump into the chat. And again, we're looking at the 69. The chat seems to think that it is the one to go with. So we've got very few votes for the 99 to 04. 1, 2, 3. We only got 4 votes for that. So looking like the 69 is moving forward.
yep. And I think that I would have the same opinion on the 99 to 04. That's one of the ugliest. I don't know. I can't do that. I think I would take that barely over the earlier S in 95, but
Okay, so just so you guys know how much I dislike this particular body style, the 70s body style of the Mustang, I would take a Mustang too over one of those. I would.
all right. So this is uncomfortable levels of weird, Jason. Like, and I like weird stuff, so. But nope. Hey, that's why we do it though. To each their own. So.
All right, guys, we are
Now,
down to the wire here.
I am surprised though, however, that the final 4 is basically between the years 1966 and 1973. That is what you have. So that surprises me a little bit. I thought we would get something newer than that in the final 4, but
Well,
yeah,
this is where it gets exciting because we do have three basically different classes or styles of the same car versus one kind of he's sitting on his own out there. So let's stay on the right hand side. Moving on to this next bracket, and we're going to go with the 66 to 68 versus the 69. So in the chat, guys, tell us which one's going into the final, and we will take a look at that. So 69 or the 66 to 68.
I think I will do 66 to 68.
I'm definitely doing 66 to 68. We've got one Kip from America Bumper votes 66 to 68, as well as Gary Mathis, Trucker Dave, Darren's Gray Goat, Papa C 2000, Mustang Guy 6501, Corey Pratt, Terry Eford, and an Auto Addiction is in there as well. Mr. Mach 1 is going with the 67 to 68 or 66 to 68. So let's count out the votes. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 for the 66 to 68, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Looks like the 66 to 68 is moving forward into the final, Grant. So let's slide the little red car with the racing stripes, the little Eleanor or whatever you want to call it, up into the finals. And I'm happy with that. I was very disappointed that we were going to see 3 of the same car kind of going up against each other here.
And I think that one of the reasons why I voted that way, though, too, is because the 69 and the 70 are fairly close to each other. So I just thought if I had to pick between those two, I'd rather go 70. So in this matchup, again, even though I kind of do like the 71 to 73 Mustang, oddly enough, I wouldn't take that over a 1970 Mustang if I had the chance. So.
Wow. So this is going to be quite a race, I guess. So now we're moving on to the final seed there on the left-hand side, or the final draw. So we get the Mach 1, I believe, on the bottom, the 71 to 73, and we've got the Boss 302 on the top, the 1970. So the votes are already starting to come in. We see 70 being filled up in the chat. Almost everybody's voting for the 70. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got one for the Boss 302. I guess that's the same car. 70, 71, 73. Looks like 70's taken off with this one too, Grant. What's your thoughts on this one?
Yep, 1970 for me. To be honest, like the final four, the only thing that surprised me on the final four was that the 71 to 73 made it in. I figured probably one of the S550 would have been here, either this guy or the brand new one. So this is out of the final four, this was the only surprise to me. So I don't think this, for the championship game, this doesn't surprise me at all.
And if it's any consolation, just because I like orange, I'm going to go with the orange one, 1970. So there's my vote. It finally gets a vote from me. And Grant, look where we're at.
The 1 versus the 3. So that, yeah, there we are. It's the championship round.
It is the championship round, and I'm more than excited to say that we don't have 3 of the same model car in the final. And again, not in this particular case, not because I don't like that body style, but it's not really. It wouldn't be a fun final to have essentially 2 of the same body style Mustang going up against each other. So here we are with a first gen up against a second gen, I guess is how we would class this one, would we not?
Let's see. I was surprised. I think that they consider everything up to 73 actually the first generation, which kind of surprises me because the length of the car definitely grew over all those years, but parts, I guess, suspension and everything probably stayed the same, but I don't know.
Okay, so just to make this fair, I see some people are starting to throw their votes out there already, so I'm just going to type something in the chat here, and we're going to start counting the votes now.
Oh yeah, because you just can't tell what was from the last round versus now, so kind of resetting it.
Yep.
So if you've already voted for the championship, revote past Jason's comment.
Yeah, so starting with my comment, that's where we're going to start counting. We've got 70. Well, it's a pretty fair matchup so far. And just because I can. 68.
Okay. Thank you, stupid fast truck. Exactly.
Oh, shoot. So it's looking like we've got quite a... Oh, stop.
I knew you were going to do... So it doesn't matter. We're leaving it up to the fans.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start counting here. You go ahead and keep talking if you want.
Okay. Yeah, well, and so with that, guys, we are over our normal limit. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we're going to try to do things more like this. So, I mean, hopefully next week we do end up with a guest as we originally planned. But we just wanted to say thanks to all of you guys being a part of the show in this chat. We have a lot of fun with the CarrGuy and SixFan show, and we're kind of, not too many episodes left in season 3. But thanks for being along for the ride. Jason, what did the tally tell us?
I'm happy to announce that by a vote of 7-14, we are going to have to call the 66 to 68 the ultimate winner on this particular game of pick your favorite Mustang, because certainly the fans have spoken, and we've called ourselves a winner. And congratulations to all those who have voted for the 66 to 68 Mustang. I happen to agree with you that is probably one of the best looking Mustangs ever.
So with that, we have crowned the national champion of Mustangs.
And pay attention to guys on Straight Six Fans Instagram, because I'm sure that we'll be posting the finished bracket as you guys see it there now. And we'll be making sure that we share that out with everybody too, because like Grant said, we want to be doing a lot more of this style show in the future. And as time winds down on season 3, we do have a couple of special guests upcoming that are booked in, and we're hoping that everything goes well, that we'll be able to get them on the show as well.
Well, Jason, since we're so far over, I'll just go ahead and let you close it out. But before you do so, I did want to just remind everybody, we've done a poor job of doing this here in season 3, the past couple episodes. But just reminding everybody, if you've tuned in tonight, we do alternate the channel that hosts. So next week, it will be on Jason's channel, same bat time, different bat channel. So if you're not following this guy, go do so. So Jason, take us away.
Yeah, and coming from my side of things, guys, thanks so much for spending your Thursday evening with us here on the CarrGuy and SixFan channel. Again, like I said, we do have some really good guests coming up. Actually, a couple of big names coming up in early April that you're certainly going to want to tune into. So we'll be teasing those on our social media as we come forward. Guys, we want to make sure that you guys are staying safe and following the recommendations of your locality. Whatever they're saying, make sure that you're following those rules to keep everybody safe, not just you, but everyone around you. We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Stay focused on the windshield, not the rearview mirror. We will see you next week on the CarrGuy and SixFan Show.